Hey HCDA, and welcome back to Incremental Week. In this week I'm trying to show you all kinds of different incremental games, and this one is a lot more active than some of the other ones I've shown you so far. It's also one of the games that I would never have played myself if someone else didn't actually recommend it to me and showed it to me, so I'm hoping to do the same for you. Before we dive in, this game has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, is about 3 to 4, maybe 5 hours long depending on how you play, and it costs about $3. So it's not a free game, but it's not really expensive either. We start out with this little technology tree over here that allows us to upgrade our power with 1 damage, but we don't have any resource to do that with, so let's go into the breach. We are going to shoot at these floating blocks over here. You don't actually need to click on them, you just hover over them with your cursor, with your targeting sensor or whatever you want to call it, and then we whittle away at them. And you can see we actually have health, and every time we hit an enemy, we actually lose some health along with the time-based health reduction that you can see over here. So our health reached 0 now, we died, we collected 3 resources, and we go back home. With those resources, we can now upgrade our power. We now have +1 damage, and that actually unlocks a couple of new upgrades. We have something here that increases our attack damage for every enemy in the area. We have endurance, which increases our max health, makes us last longer, that's helpful. And we have some crowding spawn rate increase, which might be helpful, but for now, let's just focus on actually being able to kill stuff and dive right back in once we spend those resources. Now, hopefully, yep, as you can see, we can now just delete those first enemies, which also means that we are actually running out of enemies pretty quick, although they do increase in strength as we continue on. You can see the progress bar on the bottom. The further that goes up, the stronger the enemies will become. And as you can see, we are doing less and less damage to them. However, this time around, we got 6 resources. It's worth noting that you can just start a new session and just get some more resources, but it always makes sense to go home first, I believe, at least for now. Now, I just noticed that I was running low on enemies, so let's make sure we increase the spawn rate a little bit. Max health doesn't seem all that interesting considering I really like my power, so let's dive right back in. It seems a little bit repetitive at first, but trust me, this is an incremental game. They always start out slow, but things will speed up. We definitely need that spawn rate increase because, as you can see, I am clearing out the enemies pretty quickly now. And that's not a bad thing because every enemy we clear out actually gives us stuff. The more enemies we have, the more likely it will become that we can actually target multiple enemies at the same time as well. But as you can see, we got even more resources this time around. Now let's see, what do we pick? Maybe some more spawn rates? Sure. We actually have 5, so we can get both the extra power as well as a little bit more endurance. That unlocked a whole bunch of new stuff. We have 200% increased spawn rate over here that needs something that's purple, which we don't have. Increased attack size sounds really interesting. It's really expensive though, 10 resources. And an increase to the drop rate, which is just pure awesomeness. We also have something that will increase our armor, and that is actually something that's going to be really useful pretty soon, because like I said, every time we damage an enemy, we get damaged as well. If we have armor, we take less damage and we can last longer. Similarly, this will also help us stay alive for as long as possible because this actually regenerates our health. So we can get enough armor along with some health regeneration, we might actually be able to stay a lot longer in a single level and thereby get a lot more resources. Okay, here we are back in. The first enemy should not be a problem. Ooh, we got 2 at the same time. It's weird how exciting that is. Anyway, oh, that's another 2 at the same time. I'm liking the increase in the spawn rate, actually. That makes that a lot more likely to occur. Oh, look, that one didn't die instantly anymore. Thinking we should get like at least 10 resources, maybe. Can we hit those 2? Ah, that's a shame. Well, we got 11, so let's go back home. The increased attack size is very tempting, but I think we should probably go for some other stuff first. I can't get that one quite yet. Maybe get some armor and some health. That should help us stick around for a little bit longer and thereby hopefully... Oh, I was slacking there. I do actually need to do and target stuff because otherwise we won't get any resources. Really weird how bad it feels that I missed that first shot there, but anyway. Shouldn't be the end of the world. Look at that. 2 at the same time? Yes. They're still dying at the same time as well. So does this one. Do they ever actually overlap each other? They do. It's a very good way to lose health. Ooh, 3. Yes! Do actually need to pick everything up though. You can see them on the map. So if we are outside of the range, then 60. Okay, still pretty good. Now let's see, what do we actually have here? 1 armor against bosses. I don't think we've seen bosses so far yet, but that's okay. We can pick up some additional damage. We did last for quite a while there. Let's also get some spawn rate. Just let's increase our farming speed with it. And there we go. I did not miss the first shot this time around. And we can continue on farming. Ooh, look. Yes. I went to level up. I actually don't know what that gains me. Does that mean I do more damage now or what? I don't think I've seen a reference to what level does in this game so far. Do we need to actually pick up the stuff on the map? We are going to get so many resources from this run. And there we go. Oh, I did kill them, but I didn't actually get stuff. But we did get something blue there. Okay, so what was the blue upgrade that I had? It was somewhere over here. Yeah, so red enemies drop +1 bits, and I assume that the bits are the red thingies over there. 1% chance for blue enemies to spawn. I haven't seen any blue enemies so far, but I also don't have 400 bits to do that. Okay, these are expensive stuff. We'll get back to that later. Increased attack size, maybe some more armor, or why not both? We have a lot more armor now, well, twice as much armor, more or less, and some attack size. Let's see where that gets us now. Ooh, yeah, the 10% increased size of this thing is actually noticeable. It should be having a lot easier time now to target multiple things. And everything is now dropping 2 bits, so it should really speed up the amount of stuff we can buy in a minute. And yeah, there we go. Do we get the boss when the progress meter hits like the ends? I've played this game a little bit before I started the recording, but I don't remember actually seeing a boss. And it's like I said before, it's really strange how addicting this game is, even though I mean it's really straightforward, but oh, I should probably have retargeted there a little bit. There we go, 54. Okay, so, oh, what's that? That seems like a boss, definitely. So we were very close in getting that, and yeah, it seems to be appearing once we get to the complete bar. So let's go for that in the next round. Okay, so since we're now facing a boss, it might make sense to pick up this specific skill that increases our armor against bosses. What's this? Ooh, that's a lot more health actually, but that's not what we can really afford right now. I do want to pick up some health regeneration as well, just to make sure we can last a little longer. Maybe pick up some more damage. Yeah, we're actually getting pretty close to capping this out. We're halfway through. Is this enough to kill the boss? I don't know. Well, let's go and find out. This game is so addicting. I mean, seriously, it's super straightforward. There's not really anything special going on. We don't even have to click. But because it's so active and still engaging, because I do really like the upgrade tree, it's yeah, I know, I understand why this is overwhelmingly positive on Steam. And just to be clear, I'm not being sponsored or anything for any of these games. I paid them myself, not sponsored, didn't get free copies or anything like that. I just want to show you fun and interesting games. I also bought a couple of them that I actually didn't enjoy myself, which I will not be covering because I don't want to recommend you anything that I wouldn't play myself. So, ooh, there's the boss. Are we going to go for that? We have only 4 health left. This really hurts. Yeah, we definitely need a little bit more survivability before we can take on that boss. We could farm a lot more resources around that boss though. Time to strategize. Let's see, what can we buy? Some things are a lot more expensive than others. So we do actually have small endurance upgrades here that are pretty cheap. So all of this 4 increases in max health each, and that really does add up. We also should probably add in some more power. Spawn rate, maybe. I actually kind of wanted to pick up some more health regeneration here as well, but that's not gonna be the case this time around. Maybe just take some more spawn rate, even more spawn rate or health. Let's go for health. Let's work towards that boss and see if we can get enough money this time around to get the last couple of maybe armor upgrades to deal with that boss, and then everything combined should hopefully then deal with that. We also have that upgrade that increases damage for every enemy in the area. However, I'm not really sure if that means in like on the screen or like in my cursor, my targeting area. Could be either, honestly. I would need to look at the phrasing of the increase of the size of this thing, because it's probably going to be referred to in the same way. I'm getting so many resources here now. Thanks to the additional spawn rate, it's a lot easier to have like multiple overlapping targets. You want that one bit there. There we go. Can we get some more doubles, maybe triples? Maybe. I am going to ignore the boss. I'm just going to farm resources now. Oh, they stopped dying. They stopped dying in one shot. Some of them still do. Oh, that's interesting. Those must have spawned a little bit sooner then. Ow. Ooh, I should probably not be hitting the boss, because the boss hurts. Okay, well, that's 104 resources. That's quite good. So, let's look at this. Attack deals plus 5% damage per enemy in area. This says 10% attack size. That still tells me nothing. Okay, so just based on the icon, I'm going to assume this means the area that we're targeting at. So this actually doesn't help us against bosses, because it would just be a 5% bonus because you're just hitting the boss. Unless we target the boss along with other stuff, of course. Well, okay, anyway. Let's have 1 armor against bosses. Let's have 0.1 health per second. Should we take... Oh, I can actually just take 12 max health. But hold on. I need to zoom out here. We have more stuff. Ooh, generate 4 health per second with if we get another one of those blue thingies. Ooh, that sounds really interesting. We haven't really gotten that one. Was that just because we leveled up? Or was that just a random drop? This one does say blue for a 1% chance for blue enemies to spawn, so maybe it's just like random? Well, let's find out if we can kill the boss this time around, and in the meanwhile, of course, we are farming resources. Because we like resources, and because we like upgrades. There we go. Farming nicely along. I might need to invest in some more spawn rate, because I'm running low on enemies at this rate. There we go. Ooh, 3 of them. Let's go. Let's go. Yep. 2 maybe? Yep. Thank you. There is a like rhythm in here, because it's auto firing. Remember, I'm not clicking, so I need to make sure that whenever it fires off, I need to have enemies in range. Sometimes I do see clusters, but I'm like, no, if I move there, I might be too slow, and then I miss out on a shot, and yeah. Oh, there we go. Let's just go straight for the boss. Let's hit some enemies while we're at it. Look at their health. It's not really moving even. Maybe I shouldn't be shooting at these enemies at the same time, but I'm so greedy. I want, yeah, let's play it safe. Let's play it safe. I want to kill the boss. Kill the boss, and just boss. Where are you going? Yeah, there we go. So just 88 this time around. We were intentionally ignoring everything else, but we did unlock Prestige 1, and we did get some new resources. Now the real question is, what can I actually do with these resources? Anything purple here? It's the blue one. +1 health on enemy kill. That's actually really interesting. We can't buy that, but we will be able to do that pretty soon. Oh, here. Oh, it's the 200% spawn. The 200% spawn rate increase. Yes, I like that. Okay. A lot of max health or some regeneration. Probably some armor too. We actually have pretty cheap armor here. Yeah, and investing in a bit more damage. We've almost kept this out now. Is probably not a bad idea either. So, it should be interesting to see how far we can take it after the boss now. So, what's this? Choose prestige level. Level 1. And we can do 0 or 1. What's that do? Unlock a new prestige level when you beat the boss of the previous one, which we just did. Each prestige level increases both the enemy's stats and the resource gain. Well, that seems like a no-brainer. Let's see how hard we die on prestige 1 with all our new upgrades. I did pick 1, right? Hey, look, we have different sizes of enemies now. Yes, we have variation. We won't just be staring at the same blocks, I guess. So far, this doesn't seem that much harder than before. Ooh, yeah, just too slow. Oh, so many enemies. Oh, this is a big block. This is not a boss, is it? No, because we are not actually at the end yet. And I know I'm leaving resources on the floor now. I just want to make sure I know what happens when we kill the big block. So many enemies now. I don't know where to aim. We only got 75 resources, actually. That's a little disappointing. Yeah. So then the real question is, did we go to the next prestige level too early? If we just invest a little bit more in damage and survivability, and I don't know, attack size just because it's fun, and if we go back down to prestige 0, can we actually get a lot more resources doing that? I mean, I kind of want to go up, don't get me wrong. We are getting a lot of enemies here as well, and they died super... Oh, I missed there. Super easy. And that might actually be worth it. Just farm like prestige 0 a little bit longer. Get a lot more resources and then continue on. There is optimizing to do here. I like it. Ooh, oh, look, so many enemies. Look at that. Look at that. Pew, pew. Exploding enemies all over. That was 4. Was that the first time I killed 4 at the same time? Maybe. They are still dying in one shot, even though we are quite far in the level already. They should still be increasing in health and things like that, I believe. We don't have a progress bar anymore, so I guess we're no longer getting that enemy. We once again leveled up, and I'm still not sure what is actually the benefits of leveling up. Do we get stronger? Do we get more power? Do we get anything else? I have no idea, actually. Might be part of a mechanic later on. Maybe. We're not gaining that much experience. We are surviving for an extremely long time. Look at that. Our health is going down now. But yeah, we've killed a lot of stuff already. Let's see. There's more stuff here. Ooh. I do need to make sure I'm actually killing things, because otherwise we're not getting any resources. So like that, maybe like that. Okay, we are getting to the end now. Can we kill these? Can we kill these? Maybe, yeah, maybe this one. Oh, you're still alive. That was actually going a lot long. Yeah, that's like almost 300. And we did get one of those blue things now as well. Not entirely sure. There were no blue enemies that I can remember seeing, so I'm not sure what we got this. Or is this because we leveled up? It's probably because we leveled up. Alright, so let's see. We did have an upgrade over here, right? Yeah, so plus 4 health per second. Well, that's going to make the Prestige 1 a lot easier, for sure. Scaling regeneration restores plus 1% health per second. And we need something blue for that? Oh, those are these things that we haven't actually seen. So this is a different blue mechanic, I guess. We might as well pick this up so we have this maxed out. 1 health on enemy kill. We're killing a lot of enemies, so that makes sense to me, I think. We maxed out the damage. At this point, it makes a lot of sense to pick this up, and I should probably have done this sooner, because we're dealing damage to multiple enemies all the time now, so that's an easy 10-20% damage increase. Ooh, look. Something to spend purple stuff on. Attack speed. And this is just flat damage against bosses. That's going to be very useful as well. I do actually still have a little bit of stuff left. Increased spawn rate, maybe. Armor. Yeah, let's just go with the spawn rate. I mean, that's never a bad thing. Just more stuff to hit. And now I do actually want to go up to Prestige 1. Okay, let's see. Starting out very basic again. I don't see any different enemy. Oh, there we go. I was wondering for a moment there if we were actually on Prestige 1. Should I be killing these or not? I have no idea. They do seem a little bit tanky. I can't kind of like combine them with the others. There is an upgrade actually that gives us pickup ratio, which is sounding really good right about now, as you can see. I'm not so really sure if the big ones are worth farming though. I mean, maybe we should just be shooting at the smaller ones. They are dropping one bit extra because we got that one upgrade. At the same time, I can kind of combine hitting all of these. It does do a lot of damage though. Oh, look, we are actually at the boss. We're just going to go straight for the boss. That is... No, that's not going to work. I'm not going to bother. I'm going to come back to the boss after we farm some more resources. Because obviously, if I try to kill the boss now, it is going to kill us right back. There we go. Actually, the damage per enemy upgrade is starting to make a lot of sense to me now. Look at how many enemies we have on the screen. It's almost impossible not to hit at least 3 or 4 of them at the same time. And I don't think we actually have anything else that does increase our damage at the moment. So it makes a lot of sense to do that. And I am about to die. 174 is not super, but I think if we can get a little bit more survivability and a little bit more damage, then tier 1 is actually going to at least be a more efficient way of farming. Because obviously we got a lot more in the previous run on Prestige 0, but there is a scaling thing going on. So this might be ending up to be at least more efficient. Okay, so how about this? We pick up 50% damage against bosses. We also pick up 1 armor and another 50% damage against bosses. I just want to see if we can beat that one. Is that particularly efficient? Probably not, but this game is truly addictive, or really. It's just like, kill more, get more stuff, which is exactly what every incremental game wants you to do, but doesn't always succeed at that. I also kind of want to check out how much damage we can do if we increase this targeting size. We do get a lot of bits from these larger blocks once we do actually manage to kill them. However, at the same time, just killing a lot of individual ones is pretty good as well. And we do have that skill that actually gives us health per kill. So it might just be... might be kind of efficient to follow along these larger blocks and kill all the smaller ones that we encounter in the meanwhile. Tactics, tactics, tactics. It's interesting how engaging such a very simple and straightforward game can be. Okay, yeah, I was here to see if I could kill a boss. Can we do that? I actually have no idea. Should I be targeting multiple enemies at the same time? Well, it does increase my damage. Not by that much yet, because we didn't upgrade that too far. We are making a fair amount of progress on this thing. Yeah, targeting a lot of enemies at the same time is really doing a lot of damage. Is this thing just gonna float off my screen? Hello, are you coming back? I guess not. Oh, yeah, it is. There we go. Well, this is pretty close. I don't think I want to hit multiple enemies at the same time. Did I? Oh, I thought I died there. Yeah, we did actually kill it, and we now unlock Prestige 2, which I am definitely not ready for. But we also got some more purple currency there. So, let's see. I actually just found out that I'm an idiot, because if you hover over these things, they tell you exactly what they are. So bits are the common resource, cores are actually gained from defeating bosses, which we did figure out. And yes, the SP is a limited resource, no idea what it stands for, special power. Anyway, but it's gained by leveling up. So yeah, confirmed. I could have figured that out earlier, but apologies, I just didn't realize you could actually hover over this. Anyway. We can spend our purple stuff on increased attack speed. And what's this? Ooh, look! Extra damage. That is actually really useful. However, I am not going to pick that up just yet, because I want to try something else. Let's go for the additional damage per enemy in the area. Ooh, that's scaled up really fast in terms of what it costs, actually. Let's increase the spawn rate by a bit as well. And let's increase the attack size. Now I have some left. Let's just put that in, I don't know, armor. And then what I want to do is actually go all the way back down to prestige 0 and just see how long we can farm this, because I have a feeling that with all of these upgrades that we've gotten now, I should be able to, well, maybe not infinitely farm this, that's probably a little bit too ambitious, but farm this for a pretty long time and thereby gaining a lot of these normal bits. I'm not entirely sure if we get any other resources from this, probably not, but once we do actually get, I believe we needed 400, we can get that unlock that allows us to have blue enemies spawn. And we have several upgrades now that we can't buy because we need that blue resources, not the one that you get from leveling up, but the dark blue one. And we simply are not getting that many blue bits in Prestige 1, and I am guessing, even though we haven't tried it yet, we won't get that much in Prestige 2 either, even though we can go there right now. So okay, like kind of covering our bases, grinding a little bit. I'm just going to do this once, just want to see how much this gets us. But like you can see, we're still one-shotting all of these enemies now, and we are gaining a lot of bits. Like my health is not even moving. And yeah, I am just going to speed this up a little bit probably, so you can see the end result of this. And there we go, 765 bits, by far my longest run. It wasn't actually really insanely long, but it was worth it, I believe, which now allows us to get a lot more stuff. Now, I definitely want to see if this actually does anything. Well, 1% chance seems a bit low, but we are getting quite a few enemies. And look at that, the blue resource can also get us the unlock of the Milestone tab, whatever that means. 5% chance to spawn enemies that explode on death. Hopefully they will do damage to other enemies and not to me, if that happens. And blue enemies drop +1 nodes. Interesting. We wouldn't actually need to kill another boss to do this. 10% chance for double resource drops. That's just a flat 10% boost to all my drops. I guess it's efficient for farming at least. What else? An additional 5% damage per enemy in the area, or we can just get a flat 3 damage. How much damage do we have? It's like 15 damage so far, so this would be a 20% flat increase of damage that then gets multiplied by what we already have over here. Sounds pretty good. Sounds not bad at all. Just checking out what else do we have here. This is just increase in health. Some of this stuff is really cheap though, so we should probably, let's just max this out, for example. It's not that much health, but then we don't have to consider it anymore. But yeah, I'm just gonna pick up this +3 damage, and let's see how far we can get into prestige level 2. This is going to be one of those games where I kind of start playing, completely forget about time, and then yeah, suddenly it's 1 o'clock again, and it's been a nice, oh look, blue, whoa. 2 blue enemies actually. That's going to be really interesting. That would probably allow us to get several new upgrades that are super cool. I also forgot if it was just blue stuff that we needed for that. I think some of them were at least. We also need these bits. Well, either way, we're going to get some bits. We are having quite a bit of trouble actually killing these enemies though. Should I be killing the larger enemies instead of the smaller ones? Is that more efficient? I don't know, but let's see what the blue stuff will get us now. Well, let's unlock the milestones tab. I mean, we can buy that. It's probably the only thing we can buy with the blue currency now, though. We need 8 for that. We need 2 for this. So just doing this once more is probably going to be enough. There's another 20% attack speed over here. Damage increase to bosses. Yeah, I'm just double checking what we need for the blue upgrades. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff over here. Let's check out the milestone tabs before I spend... Ooh, look at that. Red defeater, destroy 500 red enemies. And we've done that and we can claim that. So now we get 500 bits. That's worth it. 2000 red enemies, 100 blue enemies, and so on. Is there any other type of enemy we'll get later on? Yup, yellow enemies. That is everything we can see. 100,000 red enemies. Well, we're 1% in, so it's not that unachievable, but that sounds like a lot. Now the real question is, what are we going to be spending our 608 bits on? There's some expensive stuff like pickup range, but that doesn't feel particularly useful right now. I do think we need to keep increasing our damage. Let's do both the flat damage as well as the area damage. Let's combine that with some more attack size, I guess. Because then we can fit more enemies into that size and thereby doing more damage. That's the plan, at least. And then we have some pretty cheap armor upgrades over here. So I do want to start maxing out some of this cheaper stuff, because I do think that's probably maybe not super helpful, but because it's so cheap, it's relatively worthwhile getting. Right, so similarly to what I just did farming Prestige 1 once, let's try farming Prestige 0, I mean once. Let's try farming this one. We did go a level up, so we can actually get one of those other upgrades now. And my thinking here is that if those blue enemies also spawn in this level, and I don't know if they do, I'm not sure if it's level associated. I might be missing a tooltip again somewhere, but I don't think it was specified anywhere. It was specified that resource gains and things like that are, and enemy strength depend on prestige level, but I'm not prestige level, I should say, but I'm not entirely sure about the blue enemies. Yeah, there we go. We have a blue enemy right over there. You need to die. Let's make sure we pick up the resource. Could be kind of interesting to get that upgrade for the multiplier on double drops. I mean, if the blue one drops twice, that's going to be worth it. We are getting a ton of resources now here, though. That's definitely worth it. There we go, kind of farming this all over. Not seeing that many blue enemies, though. And just as I say that, one pops up. I'll probably afford to just farm this along with everything else. Just as long as I make sure it doesn't run off my screen, because that is not something we want to happen. I am starting to take damage again, so there's that. There is an upgrade actually, I think it was with blue science, that requires us to hit enemies and then gives us health in return. I really want you to die on my screen, please. Oh, 500. One level up and 2 blue ones. Not entirely sure if this is impressive, but we can compare this with now doing a level 2 again and see how it compares. I'm especially wondering if we would get more blue enemies on level 2. Well, the level up giving us +1 drops to blue enemies is definitely going to help with getting those upgrades. Do we want a 5% chance to spawn enemies that explode on death? Or, let me think, where was the other ones? Half a health when hitting an enemy is pretty potent as well. 1% health per second. How much health do we actually have at the moment? It's like 12. The first one was like, wasn't the first one 60? 1% health is not that much, I believe. This might actually be worth it. But exploding enemies just sounds like a lot more fun. So let's just go with that. 50% explosion size, so they make bigger bangs, I guess. It's actually interesting because this has 5 levels, and you do need levels, like gaining levels yourself in order to unlock this. So those explosions get pretty wild, I suppose. Okay, let's see. And more damage. 3 damage sounds like a plan. I said earlier I wanted to start to max out some of these lower level ones. These are still pretty expensive though, so I'm not entirely sure I want to focus on that. And then we have health on kill, maybe. Oh, what's this? Oh, because we maxed this out, this now unlocked. Ooh, okay. So this is a flat 0.6 armor, and then we got something here over here. Plus 2% armor per enemy in the area. 2% does not sound like a lot, but this will be increasingly much. We have 2 armor from this, and we have 0.6, so it's 2.6. So 2% of that is not much at all. But this does stack up in the long run, I suppose. Anyway, back into the breach, and let's go for prestige level 2 again. Now, I have not been bored for a second since I started playing this game, and I'm really wondering if I should keep playing and make this like an hour-long episode, or cut it down in maybe 2 shorter ones, because I definitely do want to keep playing. Was that 3 resources there from a single blue enemy? Sorry, got off track there for a moment. Oh look, it's Circle. It's a different enemy. Does that drop more? Getting this... Oh, that was one of the exploding ones. I was like, what happened there? That's interesting. Blue one, blue one, blue one. Anyway, what I was trying to say is I am not entirely sure if I should make longer episodes, because obviously these games really lend themselves for that, or if I should just keep them smaller. I have no idea how many of you actually enjoy watching this, because I can imagine that it's more fun to play than to watch, but at the same time, I personally kind of like watching this stuff. It's a little shame that I died there with so many resources on the ground. I am definitely getting more blue stuff, although the extra drop rate helps with that as well. But I only killed like 3 enemies, I believe, so it's 3 extra, so it's 5 compared to my previous run. I'm in no shape to take on this boss so far, so it might make sense to keep farming Prestige 1 a little bit further, get some more blue signs there, and then continue on that. But anyway, let me finish a thought for once, because this is definitely not ADHD proof. Let me know in the comments. Long episodes for these types of games, or multiple shorter ones, or you don't like this at all, feel free to comment that as well. It's interesting for me to know what you guys like. Let me know either way, one way or another. For this particular episode, I think I'll just keep going until maybe like the hour mark or so. I don't know. Let's see. Sapphire. That seems really worth it. It's pretty cheap to get, and it gives us half a health when hitting an enemy, and it unlocks something else. Restore half a health when picking up resources. We pick up a lot of resources, so that's pretty good. Let's see, we do have some more blue, but most of this stuff is too expensive, I believe. Yes, so let's just pick up another level of that. Then I think we've bought everything we can with the blue stuff. I could also have bought this, by the way, but 1% health doesn't seem worth it just yet, I believe. 1% armor against boss is probably not super useful at the moment, but still, we'll just pick it up. It's super cheap. And then spawn rate, maybe? Attack size, definitely. More spawn rate, sure. And let's pick up some more health. I think we really need to balance the damage and survivability, because we do need both at the same time. And then let's dive back into prestige level 1 and see if we can farm the hell out of this. We do get a lot of spawns. Oh, blue one, blue one. Let's see, that's a lot of resource. Now imagine that we would get health for picking up every single one of these things. That's like super worth it. I should probably kill those blue ones. Not the blue ones, the circular ones. Once they are kind of like in the middle of the screen amongst a lot of other different enemies, like this. Yeah, that's look at that. That is definitely working like intended. This might become our best farming run yet. I actually think it might not be close. I do need to just keep my eyes kind of like focused on what is coming in without necessarily going straight for those, because like doing this is a lot more efficient than trying to hunt down those circular ones when they're still on the edge of the screen, where they cannot really kill a lot of enemies. Don't worry, I do intend to pick all of this stuff up, but we are nowhere near danger of dying, so there's not really any rush. Oh, this one is actually not going down very fast. Let's make sure we get some more enemies in the mix while we target it. Apparently there was a circular one in there as well, blowing stuff up. It's always good. Things are not really dying in a single shot anymore, which makes sense. We've been in here for a little while. And remember, this is Prestige 1. Remember how hard this was like half an hour ago? Where we just died instantly. That is so much stuff. The bigger blue one actually was very useful to get, because that one gave us a lot of that blue stuff, I believe. It's a little bit of a shame you can't actually see how much stuff you have collected in this run so far until you're actually in the end of the run. Again, unless I'm missing some pop-up, but this time around I don't think I do. I can kind of chain these things now, look at that. Oh, I do need to kind of focus fire this one down, we don't want it to run off. And yeah, this is going really well. Will we get more than 800? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. And yes, I do need you to comment because it helps the algorithm. Engagement is good. It's fun. That's mostly why I'm asking. Oh, actually, it's way more than 800. It's 1254 and 14 of the blue ones. Well, that should allow us to get a lot more stuff. And speaking of which, we also got another milestone for destroying 10 blue enemies, and that will also give us 5 more of that. So, let's see. Maybe get a level of the 1% max health per second? Not entirely sure that's worth it, but everything down here is a little bit too expensive, I believe, and it's actually not related to the blue enemies. I was actually hoping to get something that's like a really powerful damage upgrade from the blue science, but yeah, it seems to be mostly survivability stuff. So another 1%, or no, I think this is just probably better to get. So this is half a health or 1 health. 2 health in total actually now, when we hit any enemy. So that's going to crank up the survivability quite a bit. And then might actually make sense to get pickup range 50% increase, just to make that a little easier. This is pretty cheap now, so let's max out the attack size, the attack damage per enemy in the area, or let's just do the flat damage. I think that makes more sense. Spawn rate, armor against bosses, just flat armor. It is a lot of armor. Sure, let's go with that, and then just because we have a little bit left, let's go with it. Let's do 1 more prestige level 1. And the main reason I want to do this, oh look at how large our targeting area is now. This feels really good. And the pickup range is smaller than the actual targeting area which we have, which is a little bit annoying honestly, because it makes it hard to tell how to actually pick stuff up. But other than that, it's not too bad, don't get me wrong. Not the end of the world or anything like that, just a little inconvenient that it doesn't match up. It makes sense it doesn't match up actually, because otherwise the targeting area increase would also increase our pickup range, which obviously is not the intent of the developer. But I think once we clear this once more, we should have a pretty good shot at taking down the next level boss, even though we barely farmed prestige level 2. We've gotten quite a few upgrades. And once we have all of this farmed up, we can get a lot more of those like boss related upgrades, damage against bosses, armor versus bosses, our survivability against normal mobs. I'm calling them mobs. Normal blocks, I guess, is what we're calling them. It's pretty well already, so from that perspective, I don't think we need to focus on that too much. That said, remember, this is Prestige 1, Prestige 2 does do a lot more damage. We should get a lot more resource there as well. I don't think I've seen a single blue enemy yet. Might have been talking too much and not paying attention. It's really zen to play this game as well, I have to say. I mean, it's active, so you don't get bored, but it's not too intensive, so you get stressed out or anything like that. And it has a nice flow to it. The increase in the enemy level is really nice. It's really gradual. You know what you're doing. It actually feels like we're gaining a fair bit of power every single run we do, which for an incremental game is actually a pretty good thing, because a lot of incremental games, where they really fail is at some point it gets really grindy and it can get boring. Depends a little bit on what game. It's also dependable on what you're actually looking for. Some games are idle games, which are intended to be grindy because you're not supposed to be looking at your screen the entire time. But still, this particular game is really enjoyable, and I have a feeling I am going to go to bed way too late playing this game today. It's a lot of resources there. Still want to pick things up while also trying not to waste my shots. Working out pretty well so far. The exploding enemies are definitely helping out here as well. These are really increasing my clearing speed. And in general, how much resource we're getting. The explosion is pretty large already, and I think we can upgrade that considerably once we level up. We did actually just level up, I believe. Yeah, we are now at 6%. So that means I think we can get that upgrade now. That will increase the explosion size, which, assuming that these things are also in the next prestige levels, will be a substantial bonus to our clearing speed, I think. I say clearing speed as if we're trying to beat a time or something like that, but that's obviously not the case. So yeah, 1500, prestige 1. That's again a lot more than we just got. 10 blue. Let's find out what we can now upgrade. Starting with 15% exploder explosion size, because why not? I am kind of tempted to go for the 1% chance for blue enemies to spawn. That said, I'm not convinced that is what we should be getting now, because like I said, I want to focus on the bosses. So this is a lot of damage increase against bosses. The armor over here, oh, this is actually super cheap, so we maxed that out. Health per second, maybe? Just a lot of base health in combination with the health per second makes sense. Let's just take a few levels of that. 80 max health. That's a lot compared to what we had. It's just a shame we don't have one more blue science, but it is what it is. Let's find out if we can now beat the Prestige 2 level boss. And there we go. Pew pew. Almost felt like we had a different type of resource there, but that was just probably how the other ones overlapped. Those explosions are really big now. They were pretty big before, but you can really notice that these things have more hit points than the previous ones. Pew. Okay. It's kind of interesting that farming this is just less efficient. I feel that it's at least less efficient than farming the lower level prestige things. I mean, obviously we are probably getting more experience. And even though it's shorter runs, you can of course do more runs in the same time. Let's just go straight for the boss, because that's why we're here. Are we... Yeah, we seem to be doing okay. Hopefully the blue thingy will kind of fly past. I can continue just kind of just farm as we go. I missed the circular one over there. Well, that was not hard. I mean, we took that down pretty easily. And that means we can go on to Prestige level 3. As I was about to say that we didn't get too many bits in this run, I realized that we just got another milestone. And look at that, we are going to get 3,000 bits for destroying those 200 red enemies. We're nowhere near actually clearing the next things, but sure, I'll take it. 3,000 is quite a bit. So let me think, what are we going to do? Going to the next prestige level is probably not what we want to do. I think the only thing we can actually get from the boss reward we just got, let's double check. I think the only thing that we can buy for that is this attack speed upgrade, which of course is... Actually, no, we can also pick this one up. So it's either attack speed upgrade or half a health when picking up resources. I have to believe this is better. So this is what I'm going to go for, because we are picking up so much resources. If we now do a farming run, that should extend our survivability by a lot. 100% spawn rate. We could also get that. Yeah, no, I don't think we need to go for that just yet. We could actually get like 50% here for only 100, and this is a lot more expensive. So this is definitely, I think this is a no-brainer. Getting this maxed out, 5% damage, 2 more levels of that per enemy in the area, considering how many enemies we're now dealing with. Let's focus on really upgrading our damage this time around. It felt like we were a little bit low, and this is a massive amount of damage now combined. Ooh, look at, well, should have probably done that earlier. That is, I don't know, we probably tripled, quadrupled our damage now by doing all of that. What's this? The 10% chance for double resource drops. Should we get that? 10% critical hit chance. I didn't even know we could crit. 25% damage to undamaged enemies. So more chances to one-shot. The technology tree just keeps sprawling, and just for the record, if I zoom out, I'm not sure how large this thing is going to be, but we are now closing in on 1 hour of playtime. And I know this game is at least like 3 or 4 hours long, so we're nowhere near done upgrading. And yeah, it feels like we're pretty far in and close to the end, but I don't think we are. Let's go for the additional resources, and let's go for more... No, let's go for more health on enemy kill. And then let's do a farming run in prestige level, I'd like to say 1 or 2. Let's do it in 1 and see how insanely much resource we can get out of a single run for that. Well, there we go. It took a minute, honestly, but I got 3,000 bits again and 18 of the blue ones. So I think farming Prestige 1 it was pretty efficient, although maybe not the most interesting or ambitious thing to do. Now I can go back home and get myself another whole bunch of upgrade. However, at this point, the video has reached, I think, somewhere close to 1 hour mark, so it's probably time to call it quits. Let me know what you think of this particular game. I know it's completely different from what I've been showing the last couple of days. Really interesting to know what you think of it, if you've played it, and if you are considering to get it. Again, I'm not sponsored, I'm just trying to figure out what type of games appeal to the people that are watching things on my channel. So that's always good for you, because that allows me to get more interesting things on your screen in the future as well. And I really like playing games like this, so it's a win-win situation for all of us, I think. Anyway, if you're still here, definitely for a long video like this, you are awesome. And I do hope to catch you in the next one, because I have several more really fun games to show you.